Welcome back to the program, and let's bring you Dr. Bolaji Taiwo is the President and CEO of Global Innovation Holdings Incorporated and also an international strategic leader who has his eyes on the UN Secretary General position. Dr. Taiwo, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Good to see you. Let's begin with what the perception of the United Nations is, and before we talk to you about why you're interested in the job, and then we'll piggy around real-life situation that the League of Nations is dealing with. I remember, like all of us witnessed at the UNGA that happened in New York just, I think last month or so, where Donald Trump was literally lambasting the UN. Of course, you know how Donald Trump talks. But his position was more like the ineffectiveness of the UN. In fact, almost how many years after, decades after, people are beginning to ask questions about the relevance of the UN because it looks like a toothless bulldog, as some people refer to it in that sense, given that big nations who have all this military might take action, sometimes unilaterally, and no matter what the United Nations says, it's inconsequential. So the question is, how would you assess the state of the United Nations today?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I speak as a UN veteran. I speak as someone that has participated in UN peacekeeping operations worldwide. Now, you rightly said, the United Nations, as it stands, is like a toothless bulldog. But the time has come where we need to address the root cause of the division in the United Nations, and we need to imbibe new energy, which is the strong points and the focus that I'll be addressing when I become the next United Nations Secretary General. I recall very well instances when I was in Cambodia, East Timor, and even in Afghanistan. Yes, there needs to be reform in the United Nations. Yes, there is the need for nations to actually have their opinion heard at the global stage. And when I become the next United Nations Secretary General, Africa will be at the center of my campaign. Africa will play a pivotal role in global decision making. Thank you.
I don't know whether you particularly have answered my question, but I know just an assessment. So do you agree that United Nations is technically ineffective? Perhaps that's a better way I will put it.
I agree with that, and there's a need to have reform, the need for nations to have their voices heard, the need to obey the rules of international law. Thank you.
All right. I'm just reading from the website now, and there is this advocacy, for a woman leader to take up the central position at the United Nations this time around, because there has never been a woman leading, that humongous organization. I know that, you're advancing your own cause, but I just want to know your thoughts on the advocacy for a woman leader.
Thank you very much. I've often been, and I'm still, an advocate for women to aspire to leadership roles. I always tell colleagues that the best manager in the world are women. And as you know, a woman gives birth to a child, and a child that does not know when he or she needs food, they take care of the baby right from infancy unto adulthood. I respect the need for women to be leaders, but I come from a different perspective. I have participated in the UN system. I know the strengths and weaknesses of the UN system, and I'm bringing a new energy towards the resolve of emerging challenges in the world. I've got experience in post-conflict resolution. I've had experience in international development initiatives, and I'll be bringing renewed energy for reform in the United Nations.
Dr. Taiwo, so let me put two questions in one for you. So what exactly are you bringing that is different from what we have seen? That's question number one. And number two, I want you to nexus it with the challenge you are facing. There's now a debate around Nigeria, around issues of killings in the north and genocide and no genocide. That debate, I think I've forgotten his designation now, was denying that there's no Christian genocide. Well, Khan has doubled down. These are the kinds of interventions that UN is supposed to come in to address in finding a path to peace. So first, what are you bringing to the table? And if you were sitting on that table, what would you be saying now to Nigerians?
We need, just as I've advocated in my 5-point manifesto, we need to live and promote coexistence, be it cultural, religious, ethnic, or even different opinions by leaders of the world. We need to allow the rule of law to take preeminence. Criminal activities and criminalities should not be condoned. It should not be allowed to interfere with our ways of life. I will not want to dabble into internal politics of countries, but my message is this: let peace reign. Let us restore the dignity of humanity rather than killing one another. Thank you.
And that's significant also when you consider happenings around the world. But you've also said that if you take up that position, Africa will be the centerpiece of your work, and we can draw from what's happening in Sudan, even in Nigeria. What would be your approach? What would you do differently in terms of deployment to ensure peace in this region?
Diplomacy is not submission, it's negotiation. I will engage global powers with firmness and fairness, ensuring African interests are respected, not sidelined. And Nigeria has led with courage from peacekeeping to diplomacy. I will ensure our contributions are recognized, our youth are empowered, and our voice is heard at the highest level of global leadership. I will ensure and advocate for Security Council reform, greater transparency in UN spending, and stronger accountability in peacekeeping and humanitarian operations. When it comes to the conflicts that we are facing in Africa, I will be an advocate for peace in Africa. I'll be championing discussions on a one-to-one with the warring parties. I recall very well when I was participating in the United Nations mission in Cambodia way back in 1991. There were 4 warring parties in Cambodia. As you know, the killing fields that took place in Cambodia. I was also part of discussions with, after the genocide in Rwanda. I participated there as the UN chief in charge of ensuring that development planning in Rwanda is based on facts. And I recall very well that the 2012 Rwanda Population and Housing Census has been the bane for development in that country. So as Africans, we need to use precision-guided technologies to solve our current challenges and make sure that Africa leads the world. Thank you.
Dr. Bolaji Taiwo, we must thank you and wish you well. I don't know how much of national support you're getting yet. I don't know whether you've spoken to the president. I don't know where you're calling, because it takes a lot to get there. Dr. Taiwo is the president and CEO of Global Innovations Holdings and also an international strategic leader who has been playing a key role at the UN for many, many, many years, as you've heard him say. Thank you, sir, and we hope to have you yet again at some other time.
Thank you. If you give me a minute, I will use the opportunity to advocate and ask for the support of my candidacy to be the African consensus candidate. And you can follow my campaign on #Taiwo for UNSG. Thank you.
All the best, sir. Thank you.